if you're lactose intolerant, you can't watch this movie because it's got so much cheese.
Sorry, yeah, I gotta go. You guys can do this on your own now.
Nope, end it there. You agree 100%. I'm right. Welcome to our second live in-person recording with the Flicks fellas. How
In
are you guys
studio.
today? Day before
studio.
Thanksgiving.
New studio.
New studio, improved studio. It's a
Yeah.
lot classier
Yeah,
now.
much classier. Yeah. We don't have
There's no naked ladies paintings behind us.
We don't have the just the shitty folding table.
picnic table.
Nice wood.
Excuse me,
This
the
is real
picnic
wood.
table? I love the picnic table.
Well, it's not as nice as this table.
That's
Yeah,
true.
we had a handmade sign last time too, so that was nice.
Yeah.
It was nice.
But today we are reviewing the Peacock original movie, our first Peacock film,
Yes.
Psych 3. This is
Peacock.
Gus, based on the TV show Psych.
Mhm.
This movie was written and directed by Steve Franks, starring James Roday Rodriguez, Dule Hill, Timothy Munson, Maggie Lawson, Kirsten Nelson, Jasmine Simon, Corbin Burnson, and several other people, including Kurt Fuller, who is Woody Strode from the TV show, and had a classic, Psych TV show cast reunion kind
Hell
of
yeah.
vibe.
Yeah.
It's
So-
insane to me that the show was like, the show finished, and they're like, what if we made a movie? And then they're like, what if we made
A
another
second
movie?
movie. But what if we made
Streaming's
a
pretty
third
good right
movie?
now. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that they keep doing it too, because like, if you're a fan of the show, like you just kind of wanted more at the end
Mhm.
of the series, and they're just every couple of years they're like, oh, like here's another little. It's just a long
just like a
episode.
reunion for
It's
them.
a
Yeah,
long,
it's a
it's a
long
long
episode.
episode.
Doesn't
So
really progress larger plot. I mean, like something like stuff happens to the main characters, but it's like it doesn't. There's no like overarching plot. It's just
right,
like people.
right. It's just
Yeah.
a standalone, and they kind of give you filler and what happened. In
Which
between.
I always am hesitant about these movies because of that. It's like you're making a movie to a very specific demographic. It's people who've watched this show before us.
Yeah,
Typically, you're not going to enjoy it or get it because there's a lot of usually like
Inside jokes.
subtle
things.
nuances to
Yeah.
the show and inside jokes and little things like that. I think this one kind of stands on its own. It picks up as if it's like there's a lot of backstory that happens,
yeah.
but it's not really relevant to.
Yeah, and they make
this.
it like apparent enough that like somebody just kind of coming in cold can like watch it and understand what's going on,
Yeah.
Or like with especially like Captain Lassiter and like there's subtle like hints to jokes and things like that they kind of like peppered in there, but it wasn't anything like that you can't just write off as like Sean and Gus's regular banter. you
Yeah,
know?
it wasn't like, oh, we're trying to solve a crime from 10 years ago where
Yeah.
we wrongly convicted somebody and now we
Mhm.
got to fit. Like, it's kind of all new plot.
But
I
at
do
the
think-
same time, they give enough references and meta jokes to the show
Mhm.
that if you're a fan, like you get that satisfaction from it too.
Yeah. So let's get our first reactions. James, you're
All
freshly watched the movie.
I
Why don't
am.
you
I quite
start us
literally
off?
finished the movie 2 minutes before we hit record because I've had a very busy day that I didn't intend on having. But movie overall, I thought it was beginning was kind of rough. I thought it was fun. Like it still scratches the itch of like I watched all of Psych. I loved the show. I think it was good. I think some of the jokes in the beginning felt like they were like trying to recapture some of what they had, and like it was a little too far, and I was like, I don't know. Put a little bit of a bad taste in my mouth, but like towards the end, I kind of really got back into it, and I did end up really liking the movie. I thought that the last third really kind of brought it home, which is I honestly think they kind of went back to their bread and butter of like getting into cases, solving cases, and stuff like that. So overall, I liked it. I didn't love it, but I'll throw it to Kev.
I liked it. I thought it was better than the first one, but I forget the second one. I'm pretty sure I watched it. I'm almost certain I did,
Mm-hmm.
but I just kind of forget a lot of what happened in it.
Well, they come out so infrequently that it's like,
Yeah.
they come out just long enough apart that you forget. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, you kind of need to watch them all like back to back to back to really
Yeah.
like keep up with it. And who knows, maybe in the future we'll do a bonus episode on the whole trilogy
Series,
so
the
far
trilogy,
of
yeah.
Psych
movies.
trilogy.
But I thought it was good. I thought it was funny. A lot of the like meta jokes, like I said before, were pretty good. And it's just good to see them back. excuse me. It's just good to see them back on the screen again, and like just seeing those characters again. Because I like James, I love Psych, like I love the show. So it was just good to see it again and just kind of relive it. And it's like a big long episode. That's all. It's just a long episode of Psych.
Yeah, they clearly had like a formula for the show that they just kind of like drew out a little bit longer for this.
Yeah.
It wasn't like they're trying to make like a cinematic movie
Right.
where the plot is completely different, the characters are different. It was very much similar to the show and just longer.
Yep.
Which I don't have a gripe with, but I don't know. I was watching it. I was a little indifferent about it because I watched the whole series, but it's been forever.
Yeah, it's been a long.
It's been a long time
Yeah.
since it's been off the air, and like even the movies have been kind of coming out periodically, like progressively slow. So it's like hard to like remember exactly. And I feel like the jokes were a little too niche almost to the show that I couldn't like enjoy. I was like, I get what they're trying to make a joke here, but I don't know what the joke is.
Yeah.
Whereas I feel like they could have done like bigger overarching jokes of like the cat and mouse chase between like Jules and Spencer and all this stuff. But like they kind of went for very like niche jokes, which I thought was a little hard to like appreciate, but at the same time
they went a little harder in the like pulling from older stuff or like trying to develop something new. You know, it was the formula, but I agree that there was definitely more, and I guess niche is the good idea. Like it's definitely a more kind of nuanced humor they went for in this one, I think, than like the normal Psych. Because normal Psych is just kind of really, I would say 80% of the in entertainment value of the show is Sean and Burton just going back and forth and like ad-libbing off each other, and like that's, at least for me, that was like the whole reason I wanted to watch the show. But this, I feel like it was a lot less about that. Like they did it, but it wasn't. They very quickly like developed this like super convoluted plot and then like push you through, and then like it's like they involve a lot of other people, you know, like more so than the show. So it's kind of like you lose. Like I feel like I didn't get the same, and not that like the other cast isn't talented, but that's not the reason that I watched the show, you know.
Yeah. Sure.
you feel like you want to say something.
You
want to challenge him.
No,
Let's challenge.
I'm not trying to like challenge. I just like I think I just enjoyed it more than you guys. Like I enjoyed the humor. They're still making all their pop culture references that are so good. And yeah, I thought it was funny. I laughed like a bunch. So
The success of this show and the movies is straight up their banter. I don't care about their plot. I care about their like funny dynamic and the fact that like Guster tries to be this like professional who's just as quirky in his own way and weird and like ridiculous.
Yeah.
That it's just like a good dynamic duo and the characters.
It's like Burton is like he's like trying to be an adult, but like truly they're just children in like adults' bodies, and like they're just going back and forth, and like
he makes that joke at some point about being a child, or she was like, "I'll do this when you grow up," and he was like, "That's never going to happen." Like,
why don't we do something different for this one?
Okay.
Whoa.
I want
curveball.
Whoa.
There's nobody knew about this.
I
just thought about this 30 seconds ago, I didn't know about this. I want a decision based on
needy
commitment.
I want a decision based on if you've seen the show before
Yeah.
and if you haven't seen the show. If you think you should
easy
watch or not.
Yeah.
Easy.
Okay.
Yeah,
It is
100%.
easy.
Yeah. Kev, let's start with you.
If you've watched the show, watch this movie. If you haven't watched the show, don't watch this movie. Like it is, and that is like, there's opinions. Yeah, there you go. There's opinions, but then this is one of those opinions that's just straight fact. Like that's just what you do.
Yeah. I don't think this is a good standalone movie, if I'm going to be in mind. Like, I think if you watch the show, it's good, it's entertaining. I think if you haven't watched the show, I agree with you 100%. I don't think. Like,
I think they tried to make it a standalone movie.
Yeah.
And it kind of fell flat.
But that's not what it. That's the whole. I guess they tried. I guess that's kind of what we were talking
maybe
about
they
before.
didn't. I don't know.
No, but that's what we were talking about before, right? Is it seems a little different, right? And that's why, like, I guess because it's got the brand name Psych on it, it's all the same characters, it's all the same cast. Like I'm looking for the same thing. I'm looking for like the Friends reunion of like Psych, you know?
Well, and what I love about it too is that like even in the show, like the opening credits is always kind of a little bit different. The song is a variation of it. The images are different.
Yeah.
I loved the Marvel intro for this one.
Yeah.
You guys catch that? That's when they like put up Psych 3. It's like very Marvel-esque of like the.
I didn't even put that together.
Yeah.
But I do like that they
I'm very
just
surprised they
like
didn't
keep
get
the that
The
they
same
just
song.
keep the intro and it's like clips from the show still.
Yeah,
like it's
yeah.
just whatever their last intro
They're just like,
was.
yeah.
They're
Plug it
just
in,
like,
change clips 3
we'll
and
do-
5, and call it a day.
yeah, change the graphics a little bit, but all in all, it's
They
like
have a lot
still
of the same
episodes.
B-roll.
Yeah.
Did you give your decision? Sorry.
So watch the show, click play.
Okay.
Not. Oh yeah, I won't smack. Watch the show, click play. Don't watch the show, keep scrolling. Right.
Watch the show, kick play. Didn't
If
watch
you
the show.
watch
Yeah,
the
yeah,
show,
okay.
click play.
Yeah.
If you didn't watch the show, keep scrolling. In my opinion.
I agree. I think if you watch the show, you're going to enjoy this because it's, like we said, a long episode.
Yeah.
I think if you haven't watched the show, you should go watch the show and then watch this.
Oh, the
Yeah,
show's
you
so
should
good.
watch the show.
It's a great
We're
show.
not a show reviewing podcast, but you should
It's a
watch
good-
Psych.
it's a good show.
We're not, but it's also what I love about this too is that it's like they're edgy still. Like they
Yeah.
play like the
Yeah.
cards. They're not like they're still like they. That's what their show was. I feel like so great about is that like there was this like black white dynamic that was like funny, and I feel like they kept going with it. And they didn't pull back,
Yeah.
which I
It's
like.
also very Scrubsy. Like it feels
Yeah.
very Scrubsy.
Yeah.
And that like JD Turk in the same way as like Burton Guster.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Sean Spencer. I don't know why I forgot his name for 5
Yeah.
seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's our first reactions. We'll be right back with more spoilers and in-depth analysis.